Hello, Spanish 4 students. This is Mrs. Johnson, and I have some information for you for your archaeological research projects. The first thing I'm going to do when I start a research project is go into my Google Docs and start a Google Doc for this. So I'm going to add in my information. Make sure you have the @jeffcoschools.us and then your password. Once you get to your Google Drive, just start a new doc. This will give me a place to drop URLs and take my notes and even write out a script if I choose to. All right, so let's go back to rvmustangs.org, go to the Cybrary page and choose the Easy button. You'll find the database I linked up for you where I had the best luck finding information for all of your archaeological sites. So if you choose World History and Context, you will be asked to sign in with your library card information. If you don't have a library card, or if you don't know your library card off the top of your head, there is a whiteboard in the library that has 2 demo accounts and you can use either one of those. Once you enter the database, simply put in your search term. And I personally had the best luck under the reference section. These are actual reference books. And this Encyclopedia of Latin American History and Culture had some great information about nearly all of the sites that I entered when I was doing my practice searching. So if you pull up the information, you'll get a great high research quality source that you can use to collect some information. And down at the end, if you need to cite your sources in MLA format, it's all ready to go for you. And you can drop that back in your Google Doc if you are doing any kind of works cited. So the World History and Context database was a great place to start. I also found myself supplementing this research with some Google searching. So I'm going to open a new tab and I am going to do some Google searching. Now for most of your sites, Wikipedia will be one of those sites that comes up first. And I do encourage you to read the Wikipedia article. It gives some really good background information, and especially for research information like this, Wikipedia tends to be correct. However, you do need to know that if you ever cite or use Wikipedia in a college classroom, the professor will laugh at you and then put a big old F on your paper. So you can use the Wikipedia article to get some good general information, but know that there's a chance that everything on Wikipedia could be incorrect because any person who has an internet connection can contribute to this entry. Most of the time Wikipedia is spot on, but let's go back and look for some higher research quality sources. So as I scan my list here, I'm looking at some URLs. I want to avoid like travel sites and so forth, but this one looks interesting, so I'm going to click on this one here. And I can see that the source of this site is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. So this is a really good, reputable site. This would be another great research quality source for me to use in my research. I'm going to leave that tab open and open another tab to Google search. I just want to warn those of you who have some sites like this one that you'll notice that Cholulu is also a hot sauce, so you'll want to, again, scroll through and find some good resources. So again, here's the Wikipedia article on that, but if you go through, here's a site by visitmexico.com that features the Cholulu Historic Center. That would be a much better site than, say, travelocity.com to find some research information about this site. Now keep this picture in mind. See this lovely little castle here at Cholulu? That looks pretty contemporary. Now I'm going to go back and start talking about where to find images for your project. So obviously you can go back and do Google image search. Just don't do your image searching until you have a pretty good idea about some of the basic information about your site. Because if I'm talking about the Cholulu archaeology site, these pictures will be appropriate. This contemporary little hotel or castle or whatever's there was not part of the original archaeological site. So a couple different ways to put in pictures and to keep track of them. So earlier I started my Google Doc, and this is where I'm going to collect my pictures as well. And I'm going to go back to my Google image search, and now that I know quite a bit about Cholulu based on my research, I can click and drag in pictures. So I'm going to click on this picture with the left button of the mouse, and it allows me to drag it around if I'm in Google Chrome. So I'm not going to release the left button of my mouse until I hover over the tab where I'm collecting my research information, and I'm still not going to let go of the left button of my tab until I get the picture where I want it to be in my document, and then I'll release it. So that's one quick way to get pictures in. Here's another way to get pictures in. If you don't see the research panel that I just had open, go to your Google Docs Tools window and choose the Research tool. You can type in the name of your archaeological site, and I'm getting basically a Google search right here in this panel, but I can use this drop-down menu at the top and change it from everything to images only, and I also get images. So there's the hot sauce in there, so don't pull that in, but you can see I have that same picture, and if I add it from the research panel, just watch what's different. So I'm going to click and drag it right into my document. If I add it from the research window, Google will put a little footnote citation and will put in the source or location where I found that picture. If you're having a hard time finding pictures of the actual archaeological site, you're getting too many pictures of your site that are, tourist pictures of present day, just add the word archaeological to your search and you'll see you'll get some much better pictures. So now I'm getting actual pictures of the archaeological site that I can click and drag in from this research window. And every time I pull in a picture from inside this research panel, those images are cited for me by Google. So hopefully that will get you a good start on your research project today in the library. I am out of the building today, but if you have any questions, please see my library sub or the library assistant at the circulation desk.